late morning on my rural excerpts out there. This is Eric, the rural excerpt, coming to you from the banks of the Hiawassee River next to a little convenience store, an old-timey convenience store gas station. Right here along the road coming into Reliance, Tennessee. We're actually in Reliance, Tennessee. We're going to be bringing more of the town to you. There's different things, including a church and an old Masonic lodge hall that's right here in this area, and we're going to be bringing it to you. Kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's off of 411. You have to come several miles out, about 10 or 11 miles out State Route 30, I think it is, that we had to come in on. That's bad here. But anyway, as you can see behind me, you've got the banks of the Hiawassee River, and I'm right here at a convenience store, like I said, and we're going to show you some pictures of it. Here's the convenience store here, right here on the road coming in, the main road, I should say, coming into Reliance, Tennessee, and it's an old Texaco, very unique, very retro, as you can tell, very retro indeed, right along the road here. Yep, this is the main road coming into Reliance, Tennessee, and the old Texaco station, an old store, goes on back in there. But, yep, very unique. This is from what I understand as far as the history of Reliance, it is an old railroad town that was built along well, years ago it was the L&N, but it was something else before that. I don't remember exactly what it was before then, but it is the railroad that came through here at one time. It was the main line that actually ran between Atlanta and Knoxville, as I understand it. And this is the one that actually goes over the loop. Now, if we swing on around here, you can actually see the railroad across the river over there. Back right in that area back over there, as you can see, that's the railroad tracks over there, and that's that railroad track, the railroad line that we came down on that scenic railroad tour that we took several months ago, if you ever watched it. Here's some old millstones they had sitting out here. I just now noticed it. Right out here next to where we're parking at, between parking area and the river right here. We're now in the little store here. Not really sure. What's the name of this store, Teresa? Webb Brothers store. We're now in the Webb Brothers store, convenience store here. This is an inside shot of it. The little store looks like it's been here for years and years. They even have their own merch here, as you can see. T-shirts, all kinds of T-shirts. Webb Brothers and all. Logos on them. Swinging around here, they have other souvenirs as well. All kinds of stuff. Hats over there, and T-shirts, more T-shirts I should say. They even have tennis shoes over here, actually. I don't think these are just tennis shoes. I think these are actually water shoes, if I'm not badly mistaken. That's what it looks like. Yeah, I think it's some sort of water shoes that you can wear in the river, since they do a lot of tubing here. They can wear these in the river. Good selection. Pretty neat. I've never seen any water shoes that look like, basically like tennis shoes. Pretty cool. Got more water shoes over here along the back side of that shelf that I was just showing you. And here is the old post office. They actually used this until, from what I understand, 2008 or 9, I think it was. On up into the 2000s anyway. And this was actually the Reliance post office right here. You can see the old sign up here of Reliance. I'll zoom in here. There we go. There we go. Put it on my regular lens instead of my wide angle. But here's a map of, well, the Hiawassee River. And they tell us we could go right behind here and look at this. Oh, this is really unique. You have a bunch of ball mason jars up here. All kinds of ball mason jars. And other very unique items. They actually sell these. And some old iron skillets. Oh, this is great. This is great stuff. Somebody who is into iron skillets, this is really good stuff here. You can see the pigeonholes of the post office over here in an old, I'll get over there in a minute here and show a better picture of that old cash register. Here's an old cash register. Another old one. We saw one similar to this, but not quite as old. This is really an antique here. Cash register that was used years ago. I wouldn't even know how to begin to use one of these. This is really very, very unique here. Teresa was just telling me that these are cases of heirlooms from the Webb family, which must have been a very prominent family here in the area of Reliance. Sort of almost like a miniature museum in this store. I'll show what I can to you. Looks like a lot of baskets and pottery. Looks like maybe back there in the back, right there, is an old butter churn, possibly. And some sort of old bread baskets, I'm not really sure. Wiley Oaks split basket, Patsy Carver Hicks, mother of Willie Hicks. And an old oil lamp here. Got some old razors. I haven't read any of these little plaques that are with them. Cards that has the information on it. But you can read all of that yourself. And it looks like some old Indian arrowheads that might have been found around in the area up here. Some more pictures and memorabilia of some of the local families around here. Here's something that's unique. It looks like an old road sign that was taken down and put in here. up on the door here coming into the old post office. And here's an old sign of or picture I should say, of the old sign that was out front. Webb Brothers Texaco Service. It must have been sitting out front at one time. Very interesting. Here's some pictures I took of a few more interesting items outside of this old country store, including an old outdoor phone box, of course with the phone mixing, an old Coca-Cola sign on the side of the store, and a plaque about the history of Reliance. Well, we came a short distance on up the road to an old church. This is an old church. We don't know, me and Teresa was just discussing this as to what church this was. We don't know if it was a Baptist church or what. It was used downstairs, and by the sign, there was a Masonic Lodge Hall upstairs called Hiawassee Meeting Hall 3638. As you can tell by that number right there. Zoom in a little bit there. I don't know why this gimbal rig won't let me zoom in, but there's that. I think it'll let me zoom back out. Yeah, it'll let me zoom back out to the normal zoom, but right over here is the Hiawassee River running right behind it. So we'll take a walk around here, at least to the side anyway. And you can tell this is really old by the wood siding that's on here. It is very wore. And if there ever was any paint on it, it's all gone. Looks like one of the windows upstairs is knocked out. Still got the part of the steeple up there. And we'll walk back around here to the Teresa and Jalen are sitting over there on one of the rocks just taking it in. Beautiful view right out here. Looking down the river, across that bridge right there. But here's the other side of that church right here. This is what we were wanting to come up here and get, was this, and we was actually planning on doing it yesterday, but it was so rainy and so cloudy yesterday that we decided to do something else, which we went over to the Tennessee Aquarium in Chattanooga instead of coming over here yesterday and filming this. But now it's a much better day today. It started out cloudy this morning, but it's clearing off. Clouds are moving out and it's getting pretty warm here now. Pretty warm. But there's the church and the old lodge hall that we wanted to come up and see yesterday. Here in Reliance, Tennessee. Very unique little town out here in the middle of nowhere. And Teresa was telling me on the way over here that from Memorial Day to Labor Day is their busy season, because that's whenever rafting opens up during the summertime here on the Hiawassee River, and there's a lot of rafting that goes on, and that's what brings a lot of the business. And that little store that we were at stays slammed all the time during those months. Even when we were there, there was quite a few people who came in and went while we were there. We talked to employees of the store there, and they were very friendly people, extremely friendly. I would definitely highly recommend, if you're coming up here to this area, to come by that store for sure. And here we are at the watchman's house. This had to do with the railroad. Back in the day when the railroad was still using steam engines, they would go over the bridge, which was a wooden trestle, and the steam engine would give off embers and that would land on that wood and usually set it on fire. So they would have to keep a watch on it. Whenever trains came through, they'd have to go out there with buckets of water and put the little fires out. Otherwise, it would burn the whole bridge down. So they built this house right next to the railroad tracks, right over here. And the right off there in the distance is the wooden trestle that goes over the Hiawassee River. It's quite a long bridge because we drove around it trying to find this place, this house, to make sure that we had the right one. And according to all the information that Teresa looked up online, this is the house. And it's even got a, looks like a railroad style sign right there on the side of it saying Reliance. So this is pretty much obviously the one, because we compared the pictures on the website to this house, and it's exactly the match, and so this is it. Seemed like it had been long distance for the fellow to have to go out there from this house up here out to the train trestle and put out fires, but at least to give him a good shot of the whole train trestle from here. Back in the day, of course, now the trees and brush, undergrowth and all have grown up. But back then, I'm sure all of this was much lower and they could see further down the track and everything. So anyway, this is private property, so we couldn't really go up there to the house, but this is the outside of it. This is as close as we could get. We had to park down the field just down below it. So anyway, this is the watchman's house. And actually, from what we have read and heard about it, it's used as a kind of a bed and breakfast. So you can rent part of it or the whole house for a group of people if you wanted to and actually stay here during the summertime. Looks like it'd be a pretty nice place, very unique and old on the inside. Here we are up here at the powerhouse for the Hiawassee River. As you can see there off in the distance are the penstocks that are coming straight down that mountain. Now we did say that we were going to try to get back up here and go across this swinging bridge. This is, I guess, the swinging bridge they're talking about. I'm not really sure. It seemed like there was another bridge that I remember seeing as we were on that train ride once before. But this is the, oh, I bet it was from the other side. That's what it was. We were on the other side. The railroad cross, it comes around through there, and you see it from over there. So that's what it is. Finally figured it out. Yep, this is it. So this is the bridge right here, and there's the powerhouse back off over there, as you can see. But we're fixing to walk over there to it. So here we are going out here on this swinging bridge over the Hiawassee River here at this powerhouse. I don't know what the name of the powerhouse is, if it's Hiawassee Power House or whatever, but there's the powerhouse right there. And that's the penstock going right upside the mountain. And it comes like 10 or 15 miles from the dam upstream down to this point, and then drops it straight down the mountain to get a lot of power out of that water as it's coming down that mountain to the powerhouse and runs it through the turbines. And right down there is the gates where, when they are actually releasing the water through that powerhouse and generating power, it comes out of those gates right over there. Let's see if I can zoom in on it. Yeah, there we go. Right there. So there's the gates. And then this is the Hiawassee River right up through here. Beautiful river, very clean, very clear. Like they were saying, the host on the train was saying, it's a very clean, clear river. There's a lot of people that comes up here during the summertime, during the summer months, and tubes down this river. Have a lot of tourism from that. Very beautiful up here. very beautiful. They do a lot of trout fishing other times of the year, and that's what they're doing right now. And you can see the trout fishermen down there. There's one off to the right of the river right there that's doing some trout fishing. And got a lot of rocky area over here. But the main part of the river where the water's flowing right now at, very calm, except for some of those rapids further down there. But this is very beautiful country up here. We've really enjoyed coming up here. We had a little bit of trouble getting over here to this this area because we wasn't sure if we were allowed to, because there was a sign at the beginning of the road. The Powerhouse Dam Road actually came up to a certain point and then went into a cul-de-sac, and there was a road that went on through a gate, but the gate was wide open. It said TVA employees only. But we finally, after some much debate and everything, we finally took a chance and went on through the gate and came on up through here. It was a dirt road, pretty rough, so you about have to have a, well, there's actually some cars over there that made it. I guess they made it fine. I don't know if these are employees of TVA or if these may be people that are up here fly fishing. They don't seem to be around, but there are some steps right here, as you can see, going down to the underside of the start of the bridge, and it goes on down to the river and all. So anyway, that's a look at the swinging bridge over Hiawassee River here at the Powerhouse. Hope you've enjoyed it. That concludes this episode of the Rural Xer and our tour of the Reliance, Tennessee community. We hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed filming and bringing it to you. Reliance truly was an area out of a different time and place, and such a breath of fresh air in such a rush time we live in today. Everyone there was just so friendly, from the employees in the old country store that greeted us from the moment we walked in the door with a big "Welcome, friend, make yourself at home," and who took the time to talk extensively about the history of the area and tell us where all the points of interest were and how to get there, to the people driving down the road who just throw up their hands and wave at us as we drove by. It's definitely a slower paced community, which we absolutely loved. In conclusion, I would definitely recommend checking out this area in the middle of nowhere and stop by the old country store and saying hi to the employees inside. You won't regret it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing for more similar content. Thanks so much for watching. God bless, and we'll see you in our next video.